Hey there nation, and welcome to the show where we help you to play miniatures wargaming on a budget. It is I, Commander Cheapskate, and welcome to the Underhive's Most Wanted, a series dedicated to the analysis of the Dramatis Personae fighters and Games Workshop's Necromunda. We'll discuss the characters' rules, their equipment, their strengths and weaknesses, their positive and negative gameplay impact, and provide other critical information to help you dominate in your next campaign of Necromunda. And on today's episode, we will discuss the Abomination of Badzone 12, a monstrous hive scum creature that Dramatis Personae that can be recruited by chaotic gangs. And as you can see, we will provide all this information on this character. So with that being said, let's get things weird and talk about the eldritch horror of Badzone 12. Alright, so let's talk about the Abomination of Badzone 12. It is a chaotic Dramatis Personae character, which means it can only be recruited by Hellot Chaos cultist gangs, corpse grinder cults, or gangs that are aligned by the ruinous powers. This guy's going to cost 280 credits, and this is the stat line we have here. He's got a 4-inch wound allowance, so he's not very fast, but he does have a 3+ weapon skill. He has no ballista skill, but he has 5 strength, 5 toughness, 4 wounds, 5+ for initiative, as well as 4 attacks. And if you notice as well, there are no characteristics listed on the psychology stat for that character, and that's because of some of the special rules attached to him. So let's go ahead and talk about this real quick. So first of all, this character is kit out for close combat attacks, and the reason why that is the case is because it is got a 3+ weapon skill, as well as a really high strength and toughness, and 4 wounds as well. It makes it very, very survivable, and also makes it hit like a freight train as well. On the charge, it actually has 5 attacks with the charge, and before those attacks, most of it comes from its base close combat attacks as well, so that thing is absolutely deadly. Now the interesting thing about its characteristics for psychology stats is that the reason why there's no values there is because the Abomination of Badzone 12 always passes cool as well as willpower tests, but always fails leadership as well as intelligence tests. So that's the reason why this thing actually is affected the way it is. A little fun fact about this character, if you really wanted to, you could actually use the Abomination of Badzone 12 to be an outcast leader, and if you actually do that, you could actually give this creature the weird archetype and make it have the telepathy discipline, so that way it has unbreakable will. That'd be a really cool way to actually kit out this character. The reason why that's the case because he transfers his willpower as well as a cool check to all other fighters within distance, which means they automatically pass their cool tests as well. So this will make a really amazing hive mind build where you actually use this to trigger the weirds of your other gang members who also have psychic powers, and that way they can automatically pass their willpower tests as well. You could cause a lot of harm that way if you really wanted to do it. Now when it comes to its weapons, it doesn't actually have very many weapons. It has ferocious jaws, and one of his attacks must come from this. It's a strength 5 attack with -1 AP as well as 1 damage. It also has rending, which means on a wound roll of 6 up, you actually change the damage from either 1 damage to 2 damage, or if you're attacking a vehicle, you roll an extra damage die for that vehicle as well. So it's not bad for only 1 attack. The other 4 attacks come from its collection of claws, tentacles, and other strange appendages. It is a 2-inch versatile attack range with strength 6 with -2 AP as well as 2 damage. It also has knockback as well as pulverize. So that thing about this is that if this thing charges, it basically has an effective attack charge range of anywhere between 7 to 9 inches on the attack, which makes this thing extremely deadly, kind of reach out and attack your opponents. Knockback is nice too because if you do manage to roll higher than the target's toughness, they get pushed back an inch as well as transform the damage from 2 damage to 3 damage, which makes it quite good. And because you're making your attacks with 3 damage instead, which means it takes 3+ a hit, you're almost always going to get over your toughness 3 enemies because, you know, toughness 3 is primarily used throughout most of the gangs in Necromunda, so you'll be able to wound people like it's nobody's business. Not to mention, you also have pulverize, which means that after the injury dice are rolled, roll a d6, and if it's higher than your enemy's toughness, which should be easy to do since most enemies are actually toughness 3, you change 1 flesh wound to a serious injury instead, and of course, this guy can be, you know, destroyed in that process as well. Now when it comes to its war gear, it does have heavy carapace armor, which does give you a 4+ armor save as well as a 3+ armor save if you get attacked from the front 90-degree arc as well. Now it does have some skills as well as has fearsome, which means that your opponents must pass a willpower test before they can charge against it, otherwise they lose their activation. It also has True Grit as well, which means every single time you take an injury roll, you do -1 die roll, or you could take 2 dice and choose which one you want to use for that result. So very survivable that way. It's also got the Unstoppable skill too, which means that before you make a recovery test, you roll a d6. On a 4+, you can discard a flesh wound. If not, you can roll 2 dice and decide which one you want for your injuries. So this thing is very resilient and also very tough. Now it does have the Mindless Beast special rule attached, which means you can only move, charge, fight, or do a coup de grace, but it automatically passes all cool and willpower tests, but fails the leadership as well as intelligence tests as well. It is an outlaw hired gun, so because that only outlaw gangs can take it, but that's not such a big deal anyways, because the only gangs that can take this thing are Corpse Grinder cults, Hella Chaos cultists, or Chaos Corrupted cults, and that's pretty much all that can really do to take this guy. So in my opinion, the Abomination of Badzone 12 is a pretty decent brute, as well as a little fighter to add to your gang as well. There's a nice thing about this guy too, there is no official miniature, so you could easily proxy, 3D print, convert, or kit bash your own very own creature. I mean, if you have a spare Chaos Spawn laying around in your collection, you could definitely just use that to represent the Abomination. In my opinion, it would also make a really excellent outcast gang leader as well, because it has that cult. You can imagine it having like a cult that's dedicated to it, and it worships it. So because of that, you can have some really fun narrative backgrounds, like some serious Eldritch Horror, H.P. Lovecraft type shenanigans with this guy as well. And if you are to make it into an outcast leader, I either suggest taking the mutant archetype, so that way you can upgrade with further mutations, which very narratively fits, or make it weird archetypes, because it'll make an excellent psyker since it automatically passes all willpower tests. But there you guys have it. This is our look at the Abomination of Badzone 12. As always, please feel free to like, comment, and or subscribe. You guys' input is invaluable to us as always. Also check us out on Facebook, Instagram, as well as blogger.com for all the latest greatest hobby news related to this channel. That's good news for you guys. We'll catch you guys next one. Peace out and stay classy.